Okay, got it over here on my 2014. Today we're going to go for attempt number 2 at our pumpkin box. So let's see how we get on. That's about 650 RPM. Let's sharpen this up real quick. Alright, let's move to the other side for a little bit. I may be able to put a tenon on this after all on either end, because I've still got some material to remove here and I need to get it more squashed. I'm trying to stay out of your way, but I'm not doing a very good job, I don't think. Overall, I'm pretty happy with this down here. I need to redefine this. This will be the top, and this will end up being long enough for me to make the stem out of. I just need to get rid of this blown out chunk. Well, would you look at that? Did my job for me. I didn't use the bandsaw because I'm not set up right for it, and it was just going to be too dangerous. Okay, these cracks right here, I'm going to fill with Starbond Brown CA. I'm not real worried about the staining from the CA on this pumpkin because I'm going to, after I get it sanded all back flat and smooth again, and I get it hollowed out, I'm going to carve the grooves into the side of the pumpkin. So a lot of that's going to go away, and anything that doesn't go away, this thing is going to be colored or dyed anyway, so it's not really going to matter. Now I need to let this sit for a little while, cure up good before I finish it up, otherwise it'll just gum up my sandpaper. Okay, let's get back to this. And I don't think we need to go any finer than that. All right, let's see if we can hollow this thing out. This would be a good opportunity for me to try my belt. I'll put the link in the description. I want to set this so that I'm cutting right on the center line. Man, this thing cuts a treat. I want to leave the walls relatively thick, a half inch or so, because I'm going to be carving. I've got a little bit more to go up here. and then I'll work on the bottom. It's getting there, and it's getting there quick. Okay, I'm about 3/4 right there. Okay, that's about where I want it right there. Smooth this out inside with some 180 with some 80 grit. I got the ridges out. These lines don't have to be perfect. They just got to be close because I'm going to be carving them by hand. Okay, I've got it indexed. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this die grinder, and I've got some of these carbide burrs, and I chose this one, and I'm going to carve that out a little bit. Bad idea, Billy. Look at all those spider cracks. Yeah, that was dumb. I'll just use black ink, which I should have done in the first place. I'll just hit it with some India ink down in here, sand it up. Okay, I'm gonna let this ink dry overnight. Come back out here in the morning and see if we can't finish it up. Good. I don't want this pumpkin orangey. Apparently the current trend, based on what I've seen from the crafters, the current fall trend is for white or tan pumpkins. And so that's what I'm going for here. I'm not a crafter. That's not necessarily my area of expertise, but I'm kind of liking the look of that. So there, it cracked. Remember I told you it spider webbed when I hit it with the with the torch? And it did. There was some spider web cracking, and there's some other cracks. These opened up. I had them filled. Those opened up when I torched them as well. But it's a crafty project. I'm not looking for this to be a perfect turning. I'm going to put a couple of coats of sanding sealer on the inside. Wow. Just had this big crack open up when I hit it with a sanding sealer. And it's cracking and making the sounds like it made when, you hear it? This is crazy. It's making the same kind of sounds that it made when I torched it. And big crack opening up right here. This may be a failed project, people. I've never heard a sanding sealer doing this. It's just shellac. You hear that snap, crackle, and pop? Big crack right here. Big crack right here. This thing is just trying to come apart. It really is. Oh, these spiderweb cracks, you see these? Where it's spiderwebbed on me? This is opening up big time. I'm gonna fill these with CA and I'll give this plenty of time to cure. Well, this ain't gonna be one of my prettiest pieces because of all of this cracking crap. I used the white stain so that I could let some of the grain show, right? Because it lets a lot of the grain show. And juniper has really pretty grain. But because of these ugly cracks right here, I don't necessarily want that showing. So what I'll probably end up doing is once I get this all sanded back is I will mix up an off-white acrylic and I'll try to save as much of this dark on the inside of these grooves as I can, and I'll just paint the rest of it with that off-white acrylic. I didn't want to paint it. I don't have much of a choice now. That's about the only way I'm going to be able to save it. I either throw it in the burn pit or paint it. So painting it is. Okay, so now I'm going to try to sand this super glue off. I really want the grain to show through. There's not much I can do about the cracks. So I think I'm going to leave them. I was going to use paint on this because of what's left. I mean, I don't like the cracks, but I think I'd rather have the cracks than have it painted. I'm going to hit this with some more stain. All right, now I'll just let this sit a few minutes and then rub it off any of the excess. Okay, I'm going to let this stain dry overnight. Then I will put another chuck on here with this piece on it. This is the lid, and I will start turning this down so that it fits. And I'll probably move y'all somewhere else so you can get a better angle. Should you desire, you can help support the Messy Studio in a number of ways. One way is to click on my Amazon affiliate link. Anything you order down there, we get a few pennies of. Doesn't cost you any more, and every little bit helps us out. Another way is to go to my webpage and you can order swag, or like t-shirts, coffee mugs, even stickers, and things that I've turned. Not everything that you see me turn will be on the website, but a lot of things will. And if you have any questions or you would like to commission if you have any questions or you'd like even to maybe commission a piece, you can contact me here at this email address and I'll be happy to get back to you. And of course there's always the link to my PayPal GoFundMe account down below. All of these proceeds go to help us keep things running in here. It helps me buy resin, sandpaper, finishes, and most recently the new inverter box for my big lathe. I had to order a new one of those. I don't have it installed yet. I've got to program it and get it hooked up. Any and all help is always appreciated. Thank you so much. Okay, I've got the dimension cut for the opening. After I get this glued back together. Always something. So much for me getting a project out Monday. Alright, we'll try this again. 3/8 inch 40/40 grind may do a better job. Face this out. You'll see why I indexed that in just a bit. Handiest little saw. The whole point of this is to give it a rustic, kind of hand-carved look, and I think this accomplishes that. Now I just have to decide what color I want this top. Do I just leave it natural? Hit it with some sanding sealer and we'll see. You can't see it, I'm out of picture. Okay, Billy, why aren't you using an abrasive paste and polishing compound on that? It looks like you're getting close to being finished, and I am. And the reason that I'm not going to use an abrasive paste and polishing compound is because I don't really want this shiny. I just don't. I don't want it shiny at all. If I wanted it shiny, I'd put several coats of shellac on it, and then I would use abrasive paste and the polishing compound, etc. I'm not going to do that. I don't want to do that. Like I said, I want this to be rustic and have somewhat of a hand-carved look to it, and this accomplishes that. Now, what I am going to do, once this dries, first I'm going to turn this around and I'm going to cut the bottom off. And once this is dry, then I will put a couple of coats of Howard Feason wax on both pieces. So let me get this thing turned around, turn the bottom off. Because I don't have a whole lot of pressure holding this, I'm going to bring the tailstock up to hold it in place while I cut this foot off. While I cut the foot off, while I cut the tenon off. The Howard Feason wax dissolving the stain. Imagine that. That's kind of mind-boggling. I guess that general finishes white mist needs to be top-coated with a finished with drying solvents in it. I don't know. I did not expect that. I'm gonna let this sit about 20 minutes, and I'm gonna come back and buff it off. Alrighty. Let's see what we got here. Again, it's not going to be terribly shiny because I don't want it shiny, but it is protected. Yep, that'll work. I like that. That white stain, enough of it came off that it almost looks as much like a whitewash as anything else, except thinner. But it's still got that off-white cream color look to it, so that's okay. Yay, we finished the turning project. So here it is, in all its ugliness. And yeah, it's ugly. It started off with there's a bad piece of wood anyway, and I can't throw anything out. I can't help myself. So, but then I made it worse by lighting it on fire and cracking it, which was accentuated by the shellac on the inside for one reason or another. Anyway, it's turned, hollowed, undercut. It's only at the spine, at the grooves that I cut in the side. It's only about, maybe 3/16 of an inch thick, if that. I used the same number of cuts on the stem as well. And you notice the stem I hand carved, power carved. I wanted it to be at an angle. That's just the way I did that. It's a nice little handle. It's not a real tight fit. I didn't want it to be. I have no idea what my wife will use it for. I made it so she will have a fall centerpiece if she wants one. If I make more of these, and I may, but if I make more of these, I'll use a different and better quality wood than this juniper. I think live oak or even hackberry would be really good. The hackberry spalt's nice, and it's mostly all spalted. So, but got my logo burned in the bottom. All in all, I'm happy with it. It is a turning project. I'm back. I'm still in a brace, but I didn't overexert myself too much, and that's a good thing. This hand or wrist seems to be okay now, and I'm happy about that. I want to thank everybody again for all of the well wishes for Dad. Physically, he's doing so much better. That's about all I can say about that. But I appreciate it. I truly do. What am I going to do next? You know, I don't have a clue. One of the first things I'm going to do next is I'm going to replace the inverter on my big lathe. I got it in yesterday. I've got some cable to make me a remote switch. If you saw my review on the Powermatic 2014, it has that little remote box with a magnet on the back that you can put just about anywhere. I have discovered plans online for how to do that to this lathe. It's a relatively simple thing to do. I just got to go buy a few more parts for it. Some of them I have already. And so what I think I'm going to do, because there's a lot of write-ups on how to do that. Nobody's done a video of it. So I think I'm going to do a video on how to make that modification. I'm also going to do a video, because I can't find any for this particular lathe, on how to take a Westinghouse brand inverter, which is what I bought for a whole lot less money. A Westinghouse brand 3 horsepower inverter, not just 2, and mount it and reprogram mount it and reprogram it for this particular lathe. Since I've got all the parameters, Paramedic sent me the parameters for programming the inverter. So I should be able to figure that out. And a couple of guys, Bob has offered to help talk me through it. Anyway, that's probably going to be one of my next few videos. Thanks for watching. Pardon the old rambling fool. As always, I just can't help myself. I spent too many years in front of a classroom. Sorry. Y'all have a great day. And remember the 3 L's. For Pete's sake, please remember the 3 L's. Live, laugh, and always love. Y'all come back.